of times, like I said, some people just aren't comfortable having the conversation. So the conversations aren't happening, but the sex is still happening, which is why this conversation on this platform is so important, because the marriage statistics, we know what those are, but women never slow down with having babies. Women never slow down with the sex. So we're having it, we're doing it, but are we doing it in a way that can be productive?
And what I found is, because I do the Mab Noir Dear Ashley sex column every week, and so
plug, where can they find that?
Mab Noir.
Gotcha.
Every Wednesday it drops. You can type in Dear Ashley, it pops up. But anyway, so women and men sometimes, but mostly women write in, right? And these are women who are in marriages, women who are single, whatever. But the common thing that I have found with a lot of these letters is women call in and they're not happy with their sex life, right? And then usually my response is, well, how long have this been going on? Or why haven't you talked about it? And it's been going on a long time. And they just don't have the language, or they don't feel comfortable being able to say, this doesn't work for me, and it hasn't been working for me. And so, what I found in doing the column is that good sex is imperative to the longevity of relationship, I think. Because, because a lot of times people are at their wits' end, and now they're thinking about, stepping out, and we don't want to do that, So, but if they just had the conversation, like one letter in particular, this woman, she was with her husband, and it just wasn't hitting.
He did not understand the assignment.
He did not understand the assignment, and it was like a several year thing. It's been going on for a while. And I was like, well, why didn't you talk to him? Because I had emailed her back before I had wrote the question. And she was like, well, I don't know what to say, but I'm cheating on him now. And the person who I'm cheating with does everything I want, right? And I was like, well, you need to tell your husband, what is he doing that you like? And then transfer that to your husband. Because sex is a thing that can be taught. People automatically assume that just because
you either got it or you don't.
Yeah, that's not true. It's something that you can learn and you can be taught. So I think if you don't have the conversation, they can't improve if they don't know what needs to be improved upon.
So let me ask you this. You say, good sex is a necessary component of a healthy relationship, of a lasting relationship.
Yes.
Sex too soon. So a couple episodes ago, episode number 1, plug, I interviewed my husband, and we talked about, he shared the male's perspective on, sex and relationships, sex too soon, how men can sometimes interpret it. And of course, this is not 100% thing. There's always exceptions to the rule. But my personal opinion is sex before you're comfortable can ruin a relationship.
Yes.
Not because we've seen people who met the first night, had one night stand, they've been married 25 years, it worked out. But if you're not comfortable, there's a whole lot of other things that can come along with that, regardless of the relationship status. So what is your opinion on sex too soon? Is there a definition? What does that mean? You got a little Steve Harvey up in there, 90-day rule.
No. I don't believe
You're not subscribing to that?
I don't believe in 90-day rules. I believe like you believe.
Okay.
You shouldn't have sex before you feel comfortable. So if that's day 1, if that's day 100, whatever day that is. I also believe that a man who genuinely likes you is going to like you if they have sex with you day 1 or day 100. If they're just there for sex, it's going to be the same if you do it day 1 or day 100. That's just my general philosophy. I think a lot of women, we don't really do things that we want to do because we are afraid of how other people will view us. And you should care a little bit, but you should also do what you want to do. I feel that way. Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't live your life based upon thoughts of people who don't really matter at that moment.
So I think it comes down to your confidence, though, right? Because a lot of times and we talked about this too, a woman will think, okay, if I have sex with you tonight, because I know you want to have sex with me tonight, even though I know I'm not ready to have sex tonight, I think that if I do that, that's going to seal the deal for me, or that's going to make you want me more. That's going to make us go to the next level or whatever. But now I have basically compromised myself. And then tomorrow I might not ever hear from you again. And I'm mad because I didn't want to do it anyway.
Right.
And I think it comes from with the lack of self-worth and then the confidence.
Right.
The self-worth in understanding that you can choose to say no and they could do what they want to with that no. But you doing something that you're not comfortable with is not going to get you anywhere.
No, sex is not going to make anyone love you, not going to make them want to be with you. So you have to do it because you want to. If he doesn't call me back tomorrow, I'm fine with that. I did it because in this moment, this is what I wanted to do, and be fine with that. You have to be okay in your decision. And if you're not okay, then don't do it. I see a lot of women who do things and hoping to get hoping to get like not a response, but hoping to get some type of reward for it. Like, I'm going to do this in hopes that he will do that.
X, Y, Z. Yeah, this for that. And you do this and they ain't doing that. So for the single women, what are some of the issues that you're seeing from the people who are writing in? I know the married women, they like, sis, I don't know how to tell them, but what are the single women going through?
The interesting thing is that women across the board have the same issue. We don't know how to communicate what we want. We are having bad sex, again, because we don't know how to communicate. And then I get a lot of single women asking questions about whole phases. Should I have a whole phase or what?
There are women that write in and say, "Hello, Miss Lady, should I have a whole phase?"
There are, and usually it's women who either are newly divorced.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm like, make it make sense. I don't get it.
Newly divorced, or women who were heavily religious. So
they feel like they need to go through this. So they need to experience this.
Yeah, so they missed out on all the things that a lot of people do in their 20s and their 19s. So now they're like 30 and 40 and they're trying to figure themselves out. So I get questions about whole phases.
What's your advice, Ms. Ashley? What you tell them? Going out there?
I think that
take it for a ride.
I do. I think
the block. No, sis, do not bend the block.
I think every woman should have a whole phase. Now, whole phases look different for everybody.
It's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum. A whole phase does not mean just go and bust it wide open for anybody.
Clarify for the people. Look at that camera. Where she needs to look in this camera.
A whole phase does not mean just go and bust it wide open for any and everybody. That's not what it means. Whole phases are learning phases, right?
Okay.
I think there are times when you learn about what you like, who you like, right? It's a learning experience because you are only focusing on yourself versus in relationships and dating, you're trying to focus on you and the other person. But I do think whole phases build character.
Now, you don't have to explain that one.
They build character.
Now, how? Come on now, break it down, please.
Character. I learned a lot about myself.
Tell the people.
In my, I think I have an ongoing forever whole phase.
It's continuous.
It's continuous.
Gotcha.